What's up, guys? Welcome back again to your Heroclix headquarters. Today, we're going to be talking about the top 5 blades in Heroclix. So without further ado, let's get to the list. All right, starting us off at number 5, we have the blade from Avengers War of the Realms. The sculpt on this guy is pretty awesome. You know, the pose is really cool looking. So yeah, that is a bonus. This guy's only a common, but he is pretty cool. He has this awesome rally ability where whenever an opposing character rolls a 6 in an attack roll, you can put that die on his card. And he's got traded steel energy, and when Blade would be KO'd by an opposing character, you may instead remove one of his rally dice. If you do, turn him to click number 6, Protected Pulse Wave. So instead of being KO'd, he goes to his last click and survives for another attack, possibly. And you can just keep stacking all those 6s on his card every time they roll one. So potentially he can survive multiple times. The only downside to that is it is entirely hinging on your opponent rolling several 6s, which is something you don't normally want them to do. But you can see on his dial here, he does have some pretty good stats and powers there. Nothing too crazy, you know, just 60 points. But yeah, if your opponent is rolling 6s like crazy, this guy has a lot of survivability. Again, only downside is you really don't want them to roll that many 6s. But if they do, it is a nice bonus. So for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 5. Coming in at number 4, we have the newer Blade common from Wheels of Vengeance. I think this guy looks pretty awesome too, you know, pretty simple sculpt, but still looks very awesome. He does have traded super senses and willpower. He's coming in at 85 or 45 points. He's a team player, so he can copy team abilities. Lots of good keywords there. But yeah, I mean, having traded super senses and starting on either dial with shape change is pretty great. You got hypersonic blades or charge blades, you know, either way, pretty good combo. Late dial, he gets some steel energy and regen, so he can heal himself up. But he is really banking on those super sense rolls on those last few clicks. But I will say, you know, in sealed, this guy was a menace for me. Between the super senses and shape change, I could not hit him ever. So yeah, I don't know. I think he's just a pretty decent, you know, there's nothing crazy there, but it is a really solid set of powers that he has, and I think he's great at either point value. So yeah, for all those reasons, he's coming in at number 4. And coming in at number 3, we have the same sculpt, but this time this is the release day OP kit number 100 Blade from Wheels of Vengeance. So you'd have to go like playing an event to win this guy. So he's coming in at 50 points. He has the Avengers and Police team abilities. And he's got traded steel energy and willpower, and when he uses willpower and succeeds, heal him 1 click. So he's got a ton of healing between, you know, actually stealing energy or just rolling willpower. Then you have another trait that adjacent friendly characters that share a keyword with Blade have the police team ability. That's really awesome. The only downside to that is that he starts with Battle Fury, so he's not really going to be able to make much use of that himself. Because, of course, with Battle Fury, he won't be able to make range attacks. So you're going to have to either play him with a bunch of other ranged attackers to make use of that, or, you know, just kind of wait till he gets hit, I guess. But he also has flight and hypersonic speed on his special move power. And you've got Precision Strike and Battle Fury top dial, which is a pretty good combo to get through super senses and shape change, aka, you know, the last Blade we just took a look at. That's normally pretty hard to hit. So that's always a pretty fun combo. You know, the Avengers team ability could potentially give him a +1 attack, making him a 12. And, you know, otherwise, police teaming down other opposing characters' defense values, which, if you don't know, when an adjacent friendly character makes a range attack, you can modify the target's defense -1 if the target is within line of fire of this character. So he can be using the police team ability for your ranged attackers, giving it to other people, you know, upping his attack with Avengers. Like, this dude's doing a lot for your team. He's a pretty good attacker, and he's coming in at a cheap 50 points. So I like him a lot. For all those reasons, he's coming in at number 3. All right, coming in at number 2, we have probably the coolest Blade sculpt in the game so far. Again, from Wheels of Vengeance. This is, of course, Blade, doing a cool slide on a motorcycle, about to slash somebody's tires or something. Very cool, very epic pose, and a very, very strong figure. So taking a look at his card here, he does, again, have Avengers team ability, and now Mystics. We finally got a Mystics Blade here. Again, a lot of great keywords for him. And he's got the amazing Pilot ability for Blade or Monster keywords. So if you guys don't know what the Pilot ability does, when revealing your force, you may choose a single base character on your sideline that is named Blade or has the Monster keyword, and turn it to any click. Blade can use the standard attack and damage powers displayed on that character's dial, and when Blade is KO'd before removing him from the map, you can generate the chosen character from your sideline on his last non-KO click. This game, that character can't be healed, be replaced, and isn't scored when KO'd, protected pulse wave. So yeah, basically, you just get some free attack and damage powers from whatever pilot you put on the sideline. So actually, one of the best, if you want to keep it as just Blade, the best choice, in my opinion, by far, is the number 3 pick we just took a look at. Because you can put him on that Precision Strike Battle Fury to, again, help him get through the super senses and shape changes. And if you're playing him at 90 points, he'll have Exploit to get through damage reducers as well, which is pretty awesome. Otherwise, he's got Prob, which, is great too. Improved movement for characters is always useful. And, starting Impervious is nice. And then you've got special attack power that gives him Blade's Claw's Fangs, and when he makes a close attack after resolutions, deal 1 penetrating damage to each opposing character adjacent to a hit target. So that's a really great attack power. Anytime you can deal some free damage is always going to be good. But then he's got this really awesome special defense power with combat reflexes and super senses, but increase the result by +1 for each of the following the attacker has or can use, which is the Monster keyword, Mystical keyword, or Steel Energy. So, there's just so many monster and mystical characters, and Steel Energy is pretty prevalent right now too. He can pretty easily get, +2 or 3 from that. So he has a really, really strong super senses against the right team, which is always cool. And yeah, I don't know, just overall a really strong Blade, especially, if he is KO'd after all that, he pops out his Pilot. So between a really amazing pilot trait that adds a lot of unique depth to him and a lot of really powerful things that he can do, he also is just a really great version of the character. He has a really awesome special attack and defense power. Plus, he probably has the best blade sculpt in the game. So for all those reasons, this guy is easily coming in at number 2. All right, guys, as always, before we get to my number 1 pick, I have a few honorable mentions to go through real quick. So first of all, they all have the same sculpt, actually. And that's pretty cool sculpt, actually, pretty cool action pose. And these are 2 figures coming out of the Amazing Spider-Man set, and one of them is from an old OP kit that reused the sculpt. My favorite of the 3 of them, which would probably just go ahead and be put in like the number 6 spot for me, is the one from Amazing Spider-Man, the common, number 4. And it's actually, unfortunately, the only one I don't still have for some reason. I could have sworn I still had it. I don't know what happened to him. I'm going to have to go get him again, I guess. But he's got this cool trait that at the beginning of the game, you can choose an opposing character that can't automatically break away from Blade. And when it does roll to break away, it only succeeds on a 6. So, he picks one character and just locks them down. He also has Blade's Claw's Fangs, and when he uses it, you can increase the damage dealt by 1 for each of the following the target possesses or can use, which is Monster, Mystical, or Steel Energy. Very similar effect to the defense power on the new Blade. So yeah, he can do like a potential 9 damage blades against the right targets, which is pretty nuts. I just like how this one is a very, specific, focused, supernatural hunter type blade. My next favorite one would probably be the 90-point one from the old OP kit, which has a cool effect that he modifies his defense +2 if he's the target of mind control, and other characters can't use Steel Energy when making attacks against him. So that's actually pretty neat right now. Again, like I said, there's a lot of Steel Energy going around, so they can't steal energy from Blade. Also, a lot of mind control, and +2 defense is better than nothing. Although for 90 points, he doesn't have the best stats and powers anymore. But he can use charge and stealth, and when he uses charge, he can use improved moment hindering, which doesn't matter, so we might as well just say charge and stealth now. But Precision Strike is a great power, and mid-dial, he's got super senses and toughness, and at the beginning of your turn, if he's taken damage since your last turn, you can heal him a click, which is pretty nice, and he's got some regen and stealth later. So yeah, overall, just a really cool version of Blade again. And then last but not least, we have the other number 207 Blade from, again, Amazing Spider-Man set. And this one's just like a basic Blade, no special powers or traits, coming in at 93 points. Gotta love those old point values. So this one has got some running shot, penetrating blast, and some close combat expert. So, he's kind of like a threat from up close or at range, and then later get some Blade's exploit. So he's okay. He does also have Spider-Man TA, which at the time was a wild card, but now it gives him super senses on a 6, so that's kind of cool. All right, you guys, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Coming in at number 1 is Blade from Captain America and the Avengers. So this guy is pretty awesome. He's got a really cool sculpt, really awesome action pose, swinging the sword and everything. I love the armor on him and everything too. It's really cool. But let's take a look at why I like this one the best. So he has a trait, Assembled Avengers, which once per turn when Blade hits after resolutions, you can roll a d6 on a 5 or 6. If your force has 3 or more from the Avengers, remove an action token from Blade or give an action token to a hit target. If your force has 6 or more Avengers, do both. So really cool, depending on how many Avengers keyworded characters you have. That's one of those traits I always forgot to roll for. There's a lot of characters in this set that happen to have that trait. And it's a really nice trait, but it's easily forgettable. Then you have the Vampire Hunter trait, which gives him stealth and improved targeting for hindering terrain, which is great. And I thought that was cool too, because again, that was another trait that was in this set, but it was like an espionage trait or something. So it was for all the spy and shield characters, but they just gave it to him as a vampire hunter, which I thought was neat. But it also says when Blade KOs a character with the monster or mystical keyword, after resolutions, he can use charge at no cost. This may repeat. So that was actually changed to charge as free. Anything that was at no cost got errated to as free, but they did keep the effect there that it can repeat every time. So every time this guy KOs a monster or mystical character, he can use charge for free. That's really awesome. Now, you won't be able to use, say, Flurry again, because you can't use the same free action multiple times unless a specific effect like this one allows you to. So if he had Flurry, or like if he was hitting somebody with an object using a terrain action, as free from the charge, you wouldn't be able to do that multiple times. But he has Blade's Claw's Fangs, so he can roll for that multiple times. That's not a free action. That's just every time you make an attack. But I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. He also has another trait that gives him Steel Energy, and when he uses it, he may heal past his starting line. That's super good. We've seen that on some newer characters recently, like Carnage Silver Surfer, who were just all over the meta, and a lot of Black Lanterns, which are going to get even more meta here very soon. But then he also has a special damage power that gives him Protected Mystics team ability, and when he attacks a character with the monster or mystical keyword, that character can't use defense powers for that attack. Boom. It's so good. This dude just wipes the floor with Kong, with Carnage Surfer, with so many super powerful figures right now. And the fact that he can keep doing it on repeat, if your opponent is playing a monster-themed team, this dude can literally run through their whole team and one-shot everybody. No defense powers means no stop clicks that are on defense powers, no special impervious or whatever, no super senses even. Just whenever he attacks them, they don't get to use defense powers for that attack. It's so nuts. It's so crazy good. And, just repeating the charge over and over. He's Protected Mystics. He's stealing energy a whole bunch. Looking at his dial, nothing too crazy on the 50-point line, but you're going to steal energy and heal up, which again isn't too crazy on the 75 line. I mean, I could even see playing him at 75 just for the slightly higher stats, but I don't know, probably not really worth it, honestly. Just perplex him up, copy the Avengers team ability or something, and go to town. He'll easily have like a 12 or 13 attack anyway. So yeah, this dude is just super duper nuts. He's like the ultimate vampire hunter. If you've got the monster or mystical keyword, he's going to run in there, one-shot you, and then charge on the next one. So I love this one. He's a ton of fun. He just seems to get better and better as they keep making these broken monster and mystical characters. I actually really hope this guy gets a legacy card in the upcoming Black Panther set, since he does have the Wakanda keyword. Fingers crossed that could happen. But anyway, you guys, that about wraps it up for this top 5 list. As always, don't forget to let me know all your thoughts and opinions about it in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to smash that like button because it does help me out a lot, and don't forget to click that subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos. And if you'd like to help support the channel even more, you can check the links in the description for the Patreon so you can see your name here in the credits with all these other awesome people, or hit that join button for the YouTube memberships. Either way, as little as $1 a month gets you entered into my monthly giveaways. So if that interests you, make sure to check that out. But that's going to do it for this one, you guys. Thanks again so much for watching. Till next time, this has been Heroclix Headquarters, signing off.